Good morning, South Florida.
And welcome to the Brooklyn Cafe Morning Show.
Grab your coffee as we brew up the talk of the day.
From the latest scoop around town
to feel-good stories and messages of hope.
A few jokes and live calling.
Highlighting local businesses.
Discussing hot trends and news stories.
A dash of feel-good nostalgia.
I love those morning cartoons.
Keeping up with upcoming events.
Sometimes trying delicious foods.
Weekly horoscope updates.
An occasional flying duck.
Some sparkle dust.
Don't forget my bell.
And my wand.
With our brew crew laughing on set.
So grab your coffee, your bagel, donut, or any breakfast as we get you up and ready for the rest of your day.
And don't leave us hanging. Give us a follow. Comment live or call right into the show at 888-994-4995 Studio B.
Whether it's a tip of the day or just to say good morning, we'd love to hear from you.
From Amp Media Production Studio, it's
the Brooklyn Cafe Morning Show.
Dawn, where's the snooze button?
Freddie, it's time to get up. We got a show to do. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Hang tight, guys. Pressing the snooze one more time.
And it's time to do a show.
Morning time, snooze button.
Welcome back to the morning show. How do you like New Direction?
I like that song.
Johnny Melnick's new band.
That's
Johnny
nice.
Melnick will be here today to launch his new band.
Are they all coming or just him?
I don't know.
Very nice. I like that a lot.
But he says he's in a positive new direction.
From our pianist,
I can't say that word.
Johnny Melnick. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Happy, what's today? Tuesday.
Yeah.
Tuesday, February 14th. It's all about love. And more love.
Yes, if we have more love in the world, like John Lennon used to say, give love a chance. I think the place would be a nicer place.
It's got to be. We also have to pay our respects and condolences. Today is 5 years since the Parkland shooting.
And of course, in tune with that, last night, shooting at
Michigan State.
Killing, I think, 2.
So I heard 2 or 3 and 5 injured.
And then he killed himself. Why didn't he kill himself before he killed anybody else?
It made a lot more sense.
And also in New York City, the runaway truck driver, the guy that rented out the vehicle and killed a pedestrian and hurt 8 others before they cornered him. Now the funny thing is, when the cops cornered him, they called the guy's son, who's a 62-year-old man, and he's on meds. And sometimes he doesn't take his meds, and he lives in this U-Haul that he rented. And he went buck-ass crazy. So
That's why I only like to spotlight the good news and not the bad, but it seems to be people like to do some bad things in the world.
seems, I had a conversation with somebody this morning, and apparently there is always something evil happening every moment of the world.
Frank says, don't mess with the demons because they do exist.
You have to sort of avoid the bad. We spend more time wishing for the good.
Well, what do you always tell me? You can't feed it. You got to sort of bob and weave and stay away from it and all the things that you got to do.
The best trick ever created was the devil making sure that he isn't believed in.
What an interest, speaking of the devil, conversation that happened here in the studio yesterday. I wasn't a part of it. I was kind of in and out. But we had 2 gentlemen come in, and they had different ideologies and things that had happened in their life about visiting heaven, about seeing souls, about the Bible, about all the things that Sally talks about. Poor Sally was here so long, she was hungry. She's like, I gotta go to dinner. She just sat there, and they had this whole conversation back and forth. See, that's what I said earlier yesterday. You never know what's going on inside of somebody until you sit and have the conversation.
Yeah, but she had one conversation, and then he wanted to have a cigarette, and then she had a second conversation. I don't know what was happening in the second, but the first one was very interesting. The gentleman died 3 times.
The second one, they started talking about all kinds of names I've never heard of.
Yes, and Russell then got into the conversation, and it went all over the place. But the funny thing was that if you ask this gentleman, and we're hoping they're going to take a show with us.
Thank you. Good morning.
That's for Dawn/the studio.
Thank you very much.
Wow, you got a slash.
Oh, I'll take the Dawn and the slash.
You got a slash.
Thank you, Josh. Oh, lovely.
he apparently says there is another side.
Everyone seems to say there's another side.
And he met Jesus, but he didn't meet Jesus.
That was interesting,
He
right?
just knew it was Jesus, and then he was at a place where he met souls that were his family.
But they didn't talk to him.
But they didn't talk, they just shared a space. It was a bond of one. And then when he met this Jesus, he knew it was Jesus.
The Lord,
but,
he says, right?
they told me he had to go away. It wasn't his time. And he came back. He was in a coma and everything. It's a real interesting story. And I'm hoping they do take a show, because those 4 guys, if they create a show.
I don't know how. I'm looking for the common thread between the 4 of them. We've only met 3, so I'm looking for that common thread. But it seems to be spirituality. Happy Valentine's Day, Katie. It seems to be spirituality, the belief in the Bible, and it's just so interesting to have these conversations that we don't get to have on air. And if you don't sit and talk to people, you don't get to have them off air. But people are really, really interesting. That's all I can tell
But there's
you.
a lot of stories to go around. But anyway,
We did 8 shows yesterday.
yes, I know. I still have burnt
We did
fingers.
8 shows yesterday, and in between were meetings and people coming in and out
Is that
and
a
mingling.
common thing for Monday 8? Or that was just because?
I think the only one that was an outlier was one that we
We're going to
pre-recorded.
have to reorganize the organization, because Josh's show staying at 11 o'clock?
I don't know. We got to figure that out.
11:30? What time did you do your show?
It was like 11:15, 11:20, or something like that.
So Josh's show is going to stay at that time, because it looked like we fit in all in one, the taping, and then Josh, and then us. And then we had a whole bunch of stuff that came through here.
I know.
Is that going to stay?
We're going to see. We'll take it one day at a time.
Hey.
One of the recordings does not stay because that was just a per diem and as needed type of thing.
Okay.
But it's all good. And then we had Lights in the Night last night.
Oh, breaking news.
Morning.
Good morning. The things that were shut down are not UFOs.
Oh, what are they?
They apparently belong to a couple of a country.
A
They-
country or a couple of countries?
They're not saying. There's an emergency meeting today in the White House to let them know first what they think it is. And the reason that they're built so differently is because they were put into certain atmospheric pressures. Like the balloon was one from China, and then they're thinking it's either China or Russia. Apparently, we do the same thing.
Oh, what a surprise.
So this guy from the CIA says, yeah, we spy on them, they spy on us. We just made it, somebody decided to put it on the news of shooting it down.
So why do we decide to take them all down? Or do we always take them down and we just now decided to publicize it?
I don't know. I guess is maybe somebody noticed that there was a balloon. There was one in Florida, in Orlando, and they saw it and they decided, why is that there? And they shot it down. Biden was just going to let it go out to sea. And he had to shoot it down the Carolinas because they were calling him a chicken.
That's because last week at the State of the Union, they were all booing him.
Did you
so I guess he
see
had to
that
do
they were
something.
wearing these white, fluffy coats at the State of the Union?
No, I just saw that on the Super Bowl.
Marshmallows.
But do you know why?
Why?
Because they were letting him know about the balloon.
It was a
So
sign
you
about the
know,
balloon.
They all wore these white, fluffy coats because they wanted to tell Biden, you didn't do anything about the balloon.
Wait,
Yeah.
do you mean the Rihanna performance?
See, exactly, the Rihanna
I
thing.
don't know about that.
Not the Rihanna thing, the
Or the
State of the Union. Rihanna's another strange.
Did we learn, understand why it is, why they wore that? Any ideas, anyone?
I don't know, but it kind of worked.
Did
was
it?
Kind of, you see, she was wearing red, and everyone else was wearing white, so it's kind of like a Valentine's Day, like pre-coloration thing.
Do you know how much money they pay Rihanna for doing that? Anybody in the Super Bowl,
I
do you know how much they make?
No.
0.
How much they make?
That's what I heard.
0.
Zero.
That's what I heard.
They pay for putting it in. Like, they'll pay up to $13 million for J-Lo and, what was her face? J-Lo
Shakira?
and Shakira. $13 million they paid for
set it
everybody
up for
else, but not
everything.
for them. So why would you do it?
Publicity?
Publicity.
That's right.
Plus, it was a huge like comeback for Rihanna, so it was, it also makes people watch the Super Bowl who don't watch it for the Super Bowl, for also
That's
the
what it
halftime
is.
show. So it's completely for not just the Super Bowl, but to see, oh, there's Rihanna there, and
To go on top of that, they released the viewers, how many views they got for the Super Bowl itself. The game, 113 million views. Okay, Super Bowl halftime got 118.5 million. So the Super Bowl halftime got more views than the actual game itself.
Did you guys like it, the halftime?
Yeah.
Honestly?
I loved
Out of a rating of 1 to 10, what would you give it?
8.
How dare you?
I'm not a-
Rihanna.
You saw it, Braxton?
Glowing.
Yeah, I did.
What'd you give it?
I didn't really watch it.
What?
You say yeah, you did, but you didn't really watch
Like
it.
I saw it, but I didn't really watch it.
So what would you give it?
Good morning.
I'm still mad. I think it was like a couple years ago, Metallica was supposed to perform at the halftime, but it was too heavy for everyone. So they did their own concert, a full-length concert, the day before or 2 days before, and they called it too heavy for halftime.
You kidding me?
Really?
Yeah, because they were supposed to play when there was a Super Bowl in San Francisco, and that's where they're from, the Bay Area.
Well, Rihanna declined to play the first time because of Colin Kaepernick.
Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, because she was protesting that, so she said no the first time, and now she said yes.
I like your shirt.
Thank
You watch the Super Bowl?
No.
That's quick.
Hard no.
Hard
What
no.
is wrong with people?
Frank says, he said Jesus came to him in a dream and told him it was not his time to die, that he had things to do. You definitely have things to do.
So
I
Frank,
call Frank the reinforcement.
I want you to meet this gentleman when you get a chance. I want to see the conversation between you and him, because he has a similar message that you have. He too died 3 times apparently, and was told to go back. My question is, why is the body dying if the spirit is telling you to go back? But we're going to get into that, because I think these guys are going to take a show, which will really, really, really be interesting. If
because
they
I
do.
think it's everything that we talk about. Your body is this physical form and things happen to it, but it doesn't mean your mind and your soul is ready to separate. So it's time to heal.
It's an interesting predicament there, Lucy.
Right, so I think Sally and Frank, I tell you, they're the reinforcements. I got to talk to someone to animate them. It's like you and me, and then we got our reinforcements.
That's what I heard you saying
The
about
angels.
animation yesterday.
So I got to have someone create that for us. What else you got?
So you didn't tell me what you gave the Super Bowl halftime number.
I got whoever said 8,
Yeah,
7
see?
to 8.
See?
Yeah,
I give it a 7.
What?
I liked it. I wasn't like,
I wasn't thrilled.
wow,
by it.
there were no costume changes. There were no change of sceneries. There was no change of. It was great. They
Well,
were
they couldn't
amazingly
move her around
talented.
as much as they wanted because she's pregnant.
Yeah, no, it was just a good, solid performance.
Right.
Yeah.
Last year's
It was like a
performance, I
concert
think, was
solid
better.
performance. It wasn't a Super Bowl bang.
What was last year?
And when they did that whole thing in California, it was like a TV production.
Remember
Yeah,
the,
it was.
It's unbelievable.
spider coming down.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, but they had moving
sets.
sets last year, right? They had like it looked like the boxes.
Yeah, they had all sorts of stuff. Now, do you believe what came out what is the worst halftime show was Shakira and J-Lo?
The
Why?
worst?
The worst?
That's what they were voted, the worst. I don't believe that.
I don't either.
I saw it.
Agreeing, and I was like, that's
No, I wasn't agreeing. I don't get
Frank
it.
said he was also given a vision of hell, and it was horrible. Ooh, God.
Well, Frank, give us the
Happy
good
Valentine's
visions.
Day.
Frank, can you give us a vision of
Give us the good
the
stuff.
angels and some positivity,
Yeah, some
as Katie would say?
positivity.
Positivity. Frank, come on in for Valentine's Day. We got some music.
Yes, come and have a chocolate heart.
I don't want to be rude because I know I'm gonna get yelled at by her, but I don't think
Well,
Go ahead.
the Weeknd halftime one was that great.
The weekend.
The Weeknd.
When was it? Which year?
Weekend.
I think he did the Miami one.
Weekend is a person.
It's a group.
No, it's a person.
oh my God. People.
They were bad. I
think
believe
so.
you. I
He wa-
believe
it
it.
was like when he was in the mirror room and all you saw was himself and
Oh,
he
that
didn't,
was kind of freaky.
and
Oh,
he
that
couldn't
was-
get out.
That was freaky.
But the production itself was kind of cool. These mirrored, elevated lifts were very cool. But after one song, I was waiting for something to change.
Nothing changed.
By the second song, I was waiting for something to change, and it didn't. It either went
She
up or
did
down. Or
13
off.
minutes. That's what she did.
But that's long for a Super Bowl. Do you remember when they had to divide it between the two? Shakira and J-Lo each got like 7.
7 minutes.
She got the full 13.
But at
Good
least I
morning.
got to see people dancing. You know,
Did you like the
J-Lo
Super Bowl?
dancing. What you give the
Halftime.
halftime show? A number 1 to 10.
As a performance, I give it like a solid 6. However,
Worse than me.
I really appreciated that because they don't get paid to do that at all. They
Right.
don't get paid a dime. So every single thing that everyone was wearing was her collection Fenty. So it's all being sold. In the middle, when she did her face, that's a new product that came out from Fenty. Their
Ah.
sales after the Super Bowl, people after the halftime show went on, their sales shot up. Like
Is it
They-
her company?
I heard that their
yeah, that's her
website.
company, Fenty.
So she promoted herself.
Yeah.
So her
the makeup
sales went
she
up.
used,
That's what you
that
do.
She like patted her face. That was Fenty. All of the clothes that people were wearing, that was all Fenty. You can
The
buy
white, the
all of
white
it.
things, those white things on her
Yep, the
clothes,
white
right?
pepper coats. Her red
$125 for the jacket.
Mhm.
I heard that the website blew up and it went down, and they had to bring it back 2 days,
because
two
that's what
hours
she
later.
promoted herself. So the actual she was pregnant, so she did that as a pregnancy announcement. She wasn't going to be crazy dancing, and she did that to promote herself. She's like, I'm not getting paid for this. I'm pregnant. This is a fashion show of my work. Go buy it.
Did
I
you
know,
like
and
her
everyone
clothes?
did.
Yeah, did you like the clothing?
clothes?
I did.
You did?
Yes.
Yeah.
You did?
She killed
Really?
it.
I will say a lot of people at the party that I was at did not.
Yeah, I didn't
a
like
lot
it
of
either.
them were like, "This isn't. I want it back to Shakira and J Lo. Why are all these men
That's your
dressed
skin.
like this?" Yeah,
That's
it
your
was
skin.
really weird. that
Me
they were
too.
saying
Me
that.
too. Me too.
But that's very much. I like the big baggy stuff, so I thought it was really cool. And that's very Rihanna style. If you watch her stuff, that's very her.
No, more power to her. Congratulations.
So it's like a
Rihanna.
puffer jacket that you can buy.
The puffer jacket, the
Everything.
pants, you can
And the
buy, the mesh shirt you can buy,
Everything,
body
everything.
suit, not the little breastplate, but the bodysuit you can buy, and her red coat you can buy.
Interesting. Anyone interested in buying any of that?
Well, it's probably really expensive.
No, she said no. You said
$112.
$125 for the jacket.
And there
it-
was
The white
Oh,
puffer.
that's not bad.
and there was
We
a
cannot
$12
$12.
look at it on the website.
We can look it up.
No.
yeah,
What's it?
$125 for a heavy puffer jacket's not bad.
Yeah, we're on that Florida weather. I don't know.
Well, because we live in Florida, but if you lived
Hey,
up north, you'd
hey.
be like, yes, I'll take
It
it.
was freaking cold last night. It was 55 degrees.
It was cold last
I went
night.
home and I said, "What the hell? Who turned off the furnace?"
It was actually cold last night. It was beautiful.
It must have been colder where you live.
I was walking outside or downtown.
Was
I
it cold?
Yeah, I was freezing because I was in shorts and a t-shirt.
Oh my
Up at
God.
Wellington. Were you at Wellington, Baxton, at all? I know it always. Today? Was it cold?
Did you bring the guitar?
No, I'm coming. Jesus, you ask me that every single time.
And-
if I ask you every single time, what does that mean?
You should bring
They
the guitar.
don't want me to bring it.
Oh, okay.
You bring it?
I'm going today.
You know, there's a new movie coming out about Nike. Have you guys seen the trailer for it?
Oh,
The guys that invented Nike, where
No,
they
no, no.
were.
What? No, I thought it was the one
Like-
Air Jordans.
I'm sorry, Air Jordans.
Yeah.
They invented the Air Jordan.
But it wasn't Air Jordan. It was just a sneaker company, and they were nowhere.
So how'd they get it called? Because Michael decided to endorse it?
They pretty much had no name, no nothing. It was a sneaker company, and they said you cannot contact any of the athletes. And he goes, okay. And he goes to his mom's house, knocks on the door, which you're not supposed to do because I was told not to.
Michael's house?
Mother.
Mother?
I was told not to call you, so I didn't.
So
She
I
said,
knocked
so
on
you
the
just
door.
knock on the door? Pretty much. And the endorsement went crazy, and of course Air Jordan was what it is.
You,
Do you know what year that was?
Funny movie coming out.
which one?
Did you see?
It's got to be what, 90s,
I think
80s?
I think Air Jordans came out when he was in college,
Yeah.
so it had to be 88, 87.
And that's how it
I
came
bought
to
me
be.
a pair
and
of
they,
Air Jordans.
and
it
they
was
skyrocketed from
$287.
No, they were not.
Yes, when they first came out, I bought a pair.
really?
Yeah, I had them white and red. I never wore them. I
believe it,
never
'cause when
wore
I first
them.
came out, he just did that big, the picturesque jump shot, and they put it on there.
That's what
that
they put
picture
there.
was insane.
And I never wore it, right? And I sold it. I sold it off for $500.
Th-
It's
that-
amazing. You think about marketing. They had nothing, and
I
then
wish
it
I
was
had
like,
never,
shoo, through the
ever
roof.
sold it.
You see the
decided
views
they
on
was
that,
gonna
on
blow
that,
Like I used to
Katie?
say, Toddle.
Now, did you see also that? What's the other funny movie?
I don't know if it's gonna be funny, but they played ads for it on the YouTube video we were watching for the Super Bowl. Cocaine Bear.
I saw that.
Yeah.
The guy, the bear swallows a whole bag of cocaine and goes nuts. It's based on a true story, except in the real world, the bear dies. And this
Seriously?
one, he does it.
No,
yeah.
that's I thought it was like a Sharknado thing, but it's based on a real story. It's
Based on a
Cocaine
true
Bear.
story. No, they got another movie coming out where this lady is mafia. She's the mafia boss. Her father left, and she's like one of these glitzy girls that does nails and makeup and stuff. So she has to go to Italy and run the mob.
Oh, that would be
I
hilarious.
was dying.
That's going to be like a
watching
Private Benjamin.
I'm
that one
seeing
I would
that.
see.
It's hilarious coming out. Also, let's go to the movies. Go see Plane. Plane, just Plane. Go see the movie. It's a good movie if you like action and thrill. No? No?
No.
You don't like that?
Um,
You don't like action movies?
and no, those put me to sleep.
What?
Did anyone get distracted by the Tubi commercial?
Yes.
Oh my god, it was so
Which
The what?
one?
I
There
was
were a
yelling.
lot of
I was yelling at the TV.
The what? The who? The what?
Tubi.
the Tubi where it like paused the Super Bowl and it zoomed out and it made it look like it went to something else. So where we were, there was a kid that wasn't paying attention. He was sitting near the remote, and Michael and I jumped up and we were about to start screaming at this kid. I felt we didn't. Thank God. We were so close to screaming at him, and someone from the other room goes, "It's a commercial!" Like, oh
Yes.
my God.
Yes. Linda's screaming at me. Why did you change the Super Bowl? I went, what? That's
Everyone,
the commercial.
everyone said they felt bad for Katie because she literally got up, walked away to the kitchen, and right when she walked away to the kitchen, the commercial happened.
No.
So everyone thought she grabbed a remote and tried
And
to play
changed the
jokes
channel?
on me. Yeah.
That was a
Katie
great
got in
commercial.
trouble for doing nothing.
That's okay. It's typical.
You even know?
She did,
Did you even know that happened?
That's
Where were you
Typical.
guys?
I was doing it in the bathroom.
Oh, your house?
Yeah, you're on my house.
you messed up the TV. What's the matter with you?
I didn't even know the commercial was a thing. I literally just got up at a random time to go to the bathroom, and then they're like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm going to the bathroom."
I still think the Rock commercial.
Did
What's the
anybody
fun?
see the commercial
Sylvester
of a bunch
Stallone?
of
Yeah, it's the one.
bunnies abducting people?
Yeah,
That was
Me
strange.
too. That was weird.
You know what's funny is that Chuck was terrified of those rabbits.
Yeah,
He
that
said,
was
"What is
horrifying."
wrong with you?" He said, "Those are terrifying." I said, "They're people in rabbit costumes."
But
He
they're
did not.
abducting people.
So the first one he didn't understand. By the second one, he was totally freaked out. He goes, "Why do they keep having these creepy rabbits on?" I guess there are people who are afraid of rabbits and people who are afraid of clowns, and I guess he's afraid of rabbits, which I never knew. The rabbit hole.
I didn't see a Doritos commercial.
I did not either.
I did the triangle. Did you see the commercial?
No.
They play football or something with it?
No.
Oh yeah, with Jack Harlow. He's playing a like an actual
Right.
triangle
So
instrument.
that was Doritos because he got the inspiration from a Dorito triangle,
Not
and then
good.
everything became
Not
the
good.
triangle.
I like the Rockstar commercial with Ozzy Osbourne.
That was
Like-
hilarious
I
too.
thought it was
What-
great.
Why
They
does
got
everyone
Ozzy
think they're a rock
Osbourne.
star?
What about the Dunkin' Donuts with J Lo and her husband? What's his
terrible.
face? You didn't like
It's
it?
terrible.
I thought it was funny.
For that one.
That was the first commercial. But there were some really good commercials, and then there were these local commercials. So I don't know if they split away to local
Yes.
time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Were those still at the same price point?
Oh yeah. This is not cheaper.
I mean, Jupiter Medical Center, they had a cancer
Cleveland Medical
commercial,
Center.
I
right?
saw the USF Health one. Yeah.
So I was wondering, are they? They must have had local airtime as well as national
Sure.
airtime.
They split it away.
Which was
And
interesting.
paid the money. Did you see the Met commercial? Nobody says nothing about the
I didn't
Met
see it.
commercial. 1.5 million.
They had to all be 1.5 million.
No, not all.
There were
Depends
more?
on when you place it. I think the Mets are going right before the half.
But think about it. That's not that much money for that reach. If you're the Mets,
Oh no, that was a bargain.
right? You got to put it all in perspective of what it is.
The Duncan was 7.5 million.
But everyone missed it because it was the first commercial. You're still kind of settling in. It was not good product placement for that
placement.
price point.
I don't think that him and her are good together anyway. She
Who-
should just dump this guy.
Who?
J-Lo. J-Lo, if you're watching. It's all love, baby. It's all love.
I'm looking at through all the commercials that they did this past Super Bowl, and they need to stop doing celebrity.
That was his theme this year.
They need to stop, bro.
No, not this year. They did almost every commercial had a celebrity cameo.
They need to stop
That
with
was
that.
crazy.
I think my favorite was the little kids about, and
Oh,
was
the
the
wedding.
Jesus commercial, and then the two. It was all about kids and loving each other and being, and then they had
That's
the
the
little
one Linda
babies
liked.
running towards each other. That I thought was
That's
one of
the
the
one Linda
most
liked.
humanitarian, non-celebrity, just about people commercials.
Have you seen the one with the little kids in the wedding?
It's like they're literally babies,
Babies
and
that
then
like
they have it lip synced.
No, I didn't. Was that on the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
I didn't see that one.
I wasn't really in. The game was so good that it took away from me watching a lot
But
of
some of the
commercials.
commercials,
Really good.
I didn't know what they were for. There was the one
Finally,
for the
you know?
dogs, farmer's pet, and the dog grows up, and she's a baby when she gets the dog, and
So it says number one is for
That's number one for the
the
dog.
dogs.
Complete results 1 through 51 from USA Today's Ad Meters Super Bowl collection. I guess that's the number one.
That's the
Num-
number one.
Yeah. Number 2. Oh, number 2 is the NFL one. Number 3 is my favorite, the Amazon one, where it's like a dog and he grows old and he tears up the house when everyone leaves the house.
I saw that.
And then they get an Amazon package, and the Amazon package is another dog for him to play with in the house.
Oh, I
Oh,
remember
that was
one.
great. I didn't realize it was for Amazon though.
Yeah.
See, that was what I'm saying. I didn't understand what some of them were for.
It was like
I don't think they shipped dog. It's just
They
like
went and
what's
bought a
inside the
pet
box.
carrier thing. And they were like,
Pets,
making it
pets
seem like they were gonna put
always
the Amazon shipped the pet carrier and they made it seem like they were gonna crate the dog, and then they opened the crate and instead of the dog having to go in, a puppy comes out.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Puppy was so cute. You still have that magazine I gave you for the. We should go back to
I've
working
been-
on that.
We're trying. I'm going through it.
Really?
we on?
Awesome. Because I want to do a pet segment because everyone loves their pets so much. I mean, and especially your generation are raising pets over children.
Oh yeah.
It's a thing. Am I right?
Yeah.
I'm not
Daisy and Rocco are everything to me.
No one here is quick to have kids, but everyone is quick to
Have a cat.
cohabitate and have pets.
Because pets take care of themselves. Children do not.
No, they
You
don't.
and
Your
Carla
cats
do.
do.
Cats do.
Cats take care of themselves. My dog is the neediest dog. Like both of the dogs are so needy.
Yeah, but the dog, 80% of the time, the dog is like
Rocco doesn't know where he is anymore.
biting
He walks
his
to a
butt or
room and he's
something.
just
licking his, whatever. You're not constantly maneuvering like a child. You have to maneuver the kid. You
I
gotta
carry
put
my
him.
Fair.
cat like a child every day.
What are you doing?
You have a cat at your house? You okay? What
He's
are you
taking
drinking?
like shots of Coke.
What?
Okay.
We have bigger cups for you back.
That spills.
It's water.
What is
No,
it?
it's Coke.
It's Coke.
It's
oh,
Coke.
Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
Why don't you get a bigger
No,
glass?
the other one.
Yeah, I was like, ain't no.
What is wrong with him? What's
But yeah,
wrong
we're
with
all watching him, and that's a weirder
So
thing.
many things are wrong with me. Don't get me started.
him? Okay, the question of the day: did you go in the tunnel this week to sing? Did you stop? Did you stop doing that?
Literally a waste of a red Solo cup.
It's tiny.
What tunnel? Oh, the one that
I
goes
like
at
to
3
go in
a.m.
a tunnel and sit. I haven't done that in a while, not since the police came.
Wait.
The police
That
came.
was a joke. That was a joke.
Braxton, you did it last week.
No, I didn't do
Yes,
it
you
last
did.
week. I did not do it last week.
That's when you told me you did it.
No, I did not. I just like my new habit is just like walking down my street at night and I'm starting that again now. Walking down my street at night singing. Sometimes bikers pass. Shut up!
What? Next time you walk down the street, you should wear a ski mask.
No, don't do that. You have SWAT all over you.
Crowbar.
You want to do some horoscopes?
Yes, let's do some horoscopes.
Horoscopes.
What'd you guys, while he's getting ready for those, think of the movie trailer from yesterday? Do you remember, were you here when Alex was here?
I didn't know it was Alex the whole time. I was like,
Yeah, you're so different.
because he came at like, I didn't know it was.
What'd you guys think of that whole, have you heard of that platform Backstage?
First of all, their ages are crazy. That guy
Right?
that was 42, he looked like he was 20.
Yeah.
They all. The lady was 33. She
Beautiful.
had a
She's beautiful.
13-year-old. Say whatever.
Beautiful lady.
Goodness
They all
gracious.
look so young, but they're all very.
But have any of you gone onto that site Backstage and gotten gigs?
I've heard of it. I never engaged with it because FEU has this thing where you can find actors and stuff. You just have to look. There's like call sheets everywhere. It's true. I haven't gone on Backstage, but it's a good idea for when I graduate. Yeah.
Teddy?
I've never been on it, but when I was in school, a lot of the actors that I went to school with got a lot of gigs off of it because my school is right by Busch Gardens, and for the scare stuff, Busch Gardens used to post on Backstage a lot. There's stuff for like makeup artists and voice actors, and there's a whole bunch of stuff on there. All the actors used to use it.
It's pretty cool. I'd never heard of it, but to be able to put a whole short together for no money,
Yeah, and his film was 20 minutes, so that takes like 3 days of actual production, but like at least a month of preparation. So it's a big deal that he did that with the cast he has and the production company supplying him with things. It's a lucky guy.
And the guy has a couple of 2-hour. They're looking for financing. So we're gonna try to work a deal
did you
with.
talk to LJ?
Yes, we're gonna work a deal where they could come in and they're going to do a production. talking about the movies because I want to sell this to the universities to let them know so that you guys will have an opportunity to role model or do some acting if you want in their productions. I spoke to a kid from Alexander's yesterday. Jay Alexander's a waiter, and he reminds me of Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci?
And he talks just like Joe Pesci.
Yeah.
So I said to him, do you know you look like Joe Pesci? He says, yeah, I get that a lot. So he's coming here a week from Friday
Okay.
to check out the studio, and he never heard of Backstage either. And he thinks he's going to give it a shot. But what I like about it is that he'll give us a tour of Jay Alexander's and how they do things and everything else in exchange for us. So we'll see how that works out.
Very cool.
But apparently this Backstage thing is huge.
I thought it was really interesting to be able to put all that together. And he got lucky, but for no money.
Yeah, his mother had to pay. My
He's-
mother paid for
He
it. There
said
was
she
no
only
money.
paid for food, though.
It could be $1,000.
Yeah, but still, to be able to put a short together for $1,000.
That wasn't the only crew members. There was more people, a lot more.
Really?
Editors, yeah. a
Oh,
lot
he's
of
got
people.
an editor or
It's
two
about
on that.
15 people
Yes.
involved in this thing.
He at least has cinematographer, producer, editor. He's the writer, he said, so that's already 4. And then you have camera operators for different shots, so that's probably another 4, 8. Then you have the actors, which are like, it's a lot.
And everyone's volunteering for the credit.
Yeah, I was surprised by that too because when I was first looking for actors for like my films and stuff like that, I forgot the actors are also coming up. So they were just like, you know, if you get a pizza, then it's fine. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, because I was expecting them to give them like a wage. So you know, like
How long did your film last?
I'm filming it tomorrow.
So you're doing a short film,
5 minutes.
and you're the director. And the
Director,
writer?
Yep.
What's the movie about?
So it's actually what I'm doing right now. It's shout out my show, but it's about a guy interested in a librarian, a young student too, and he's trying to communicate with her, but she's deaf. So the story is about him learning to communicate with another person and see if they can exchange their feelings without words. It's a romance. Figured I should do that because it's February, month of love, shout out Valentine's Day. But yeah.
How long is it going to take you to shoot this?
So I met with my actors on Saturday to figure out the roles. Then I met with them yesterday night to get the blocking, which is where the actors move and where I put the cameras. And then Wednesday, since we did all that, it should take 6 hours, 3 in the morning, 3 in the evening.
For the whole thing?
For the whole thing.
20 minutes?
No.
6
6
hours.
hours.
6 hours for 5 minutes.
No, I'm saying for how long is the movie?
5
The
minutes.
movie's gonna be 5 minutes.
That's it?
5 or 6 minutes.
That's
Yeah,
I could
That's
do that
how long
sitting
of
from
your
here.
movie synopsis was the other day.
pretty much.
Sorry, Teddy.
Yeah. Plus, things in perspective for sure.
Right? A lot can happen in 5
5-minute
minutes.
movie. I can't do a 5-minute movie.
I know. Your 5 minutes is
You're
just
right.
said hello.
Here's the thing. I don't think, it's going to take me a long time to make one of my movies.
Your movies are feature
The
films.
scripts that I write, the one script I wrote is like 116 pages, I believe.
Yeah, that's 2 hours.
Then-
That's
Yeah.
like 2 hours. That's
2
like
hours.
4-hour movie.
No.
And then-
Hold on, I gotta correct you.
and
real quick.
then
A
I'm
page
just
is about
now
a minute. A page is a minute.
getting,
Yeah.
and I'm just now getting to the middle of one of my other scripts, one of the most important scripts I've ever written. It tells the story about how my uncle fought the battles he did and how he came through the other side. I'm just now getting to the middle of the story, and it's already 100 pages long. So,
You need an editor.
yes, I do. But like, I do shorter scripts. Like, I think the shortest scripts have is like 30 pages.
Yeah, that's about an episode, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Anybody else has a script in here? You got a script? You finished it?
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
Wow.
And what's it about?
Why?
Why what?
No.
I said why.
Oh.
What's it about?
No.
Oh,
On to the next
that's
person.
Oh.
All I'm gonna say is I just finished the script.
What is it about?
Comedy, horror, love. How about the genre?
You don't have to tell us what it is. Just tell us what it's about.
It's just about mental health. That's all.
Okay, what's wrong with that?
Yeah.
It's called a.
Yeah.
I think I called it a mental correction.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. See.
Are you gonna film it?
No.
Why?
This is a little dark.
Oh.
Mental health, but you could help someone.
And
I want to rename mental health.
Thank you.
What do you want to call it, Josh?
I don't know, but there's got to be a better verbiage.
Mental wellness.
No, that's what I hate the most. I hate mental
No, the word
illness the
mental
most.
needs
I
to
hate,
be changed.
yeah, agreed.
So what do you want to call it?
I don't know,
I
but
don't
there
know,
needs
but
to be.
it should be
You don't
like-
say physical wellness. I guess you do.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
do. Next.
Mindful,
Well-being.
mindful health.
Self-care.
Mindful health.
Mindful health.
But then it's like,
And it's
are
about-
you mindful of your own health? And people can say like, oh, it's about nutrients and not,
We
You
got
know-
to change the stigma on what it is.
You know, it
though.
used to be called a lot worse.
Mental
Yeah.
illness. Yeah.
No, even a lot worse.
Yeah.
A lot
I know, a
worse.
lot
When
of-
I grew up, there was a lot worse. But you knew what the hell they were talking about. Now, mental health, you're going to have to explain it to me. Guy drives a car, doesn't take his meds, kills somebody, hurts 8 other people.
But that's one
That's
extreme.
mental. There are all these
But
extremes.
then there's the side where the anxiety that most of our society lives with,
Yeah.
and how to deal with it and how to function within it, and all of these things that are, oh, you've got anxiety, or you've got depression, or you've got this. You don't walk around going, I've got a stomach ache, my throat hurts. No one thinks twice about that, right?
But you
my
do.
ear hurts. You don't think twice. I've got high blood pressure. Here's
You-
a pill. Mental wellness, just anxiety. There's not
They
always a
give you
pill,
pills for that too.
but there's got to be things. Yeah.
There's so much. When you, if and when you get diagnosed with it too, the pills have such horrible side effects that, like, when I was in, I think, middle school or high school, I don't remember, when I got diagnosed with anxiety, they tried to put me on pills, and the side effects were so bad. My parents were afraid that the side effects were going to be worse than just using other therapies to deal with it. Whereas, like Dawn said, you don't think about that. Like, blood pressure medication can kill you. It can cause blood clots. It can cause too much blood thinning. It can cause, you to bleed out. But you don't think about that. But the mental health ones the side effects are horrible. And unfortunately, we don't have the technology right now to get rid of
But
it.
the problem is that mental illness has all of these things. And to fix it are all of these things because it's shrinking because of side effects. So as this is growing with the problems, the resolution is shrinking because every time you take a resolution, you got to balance it with something else and there's the side effects. Then there's the form of you can't control your emotions and all of a sudden you go on a rampage. So you have a different problem.
Supposedly, there's actual places around here where you can take like a bat or a golf club or something, and you go into this room,
I want to go so
and it has
They're in
they have like
Miami.
old TVs, old whatever, and you can just whack them
Can we
as
all
hard as you
Give me
can.
the address now.
Can we all take a field trip?
You
Do
guys
you-
should do 2 dudes in a car
But
and
hold
rage
on.
around.
Hold on.
A whole field trip.
Hold on. Do you
Okay,
guys
we'll
feel
go-
that will give you resolution?
No.
No,
But
but
Yes?
I don't feel rage.
See, like,
that.
for
like,
example,
You
that
mean-
Paxton. I
why
yeah, she was talking.
Don't do that because he'll pop. So do you? She don't feel rage.
No, I don't feel like
So,
There's very
I
specific-
went to a Rage Against the Machine
She was
concert,
talking.
and that is by far the most intense.
oh my God, let her talk.
That's Jalen.
so there's like specific instances that'll like take me off, but normally like how like when I get bad like mental health wise, I just start crying uncontrollably. Like even when I'm driving and that's an
It's
issue.
emotional.
I'm a crier, yeah.
You?
Another crier?
There's a-
You don't cry, do you?
scream, it's fun.
A lot of people let it out differently.
You what?
I get dissociated, so I'm just.
You
You
step
just
away.
withdraw. That's more scary than crying, because you don't know what you're thinking.
about anger or just like emotion?
What do you? What do you do?
Dude,
Mine, I
just-
build a wall around me.
So
You go quiet.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
know
build-
you go very
I
quiet.
build a wall around
it's
me.
eerie how quiet
He
you
goes
get.
quiet. Baxton
I
paces.
do a bit of everything.
You start
I-
pacing.
Scary.
I
Paces.
start pacing, I start crying, I start building a wall. Then I lock myself in my room and eat like a gallon of ice cream.
Well, I mean, it depends on what
But okay,
stage
you
I'm
got to
in.
explain something to me because I'm a little densed up here. How does that resolve your problem?
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
That's the thing that we gotta fight.
But then you're going to be looked at differently because you're emotional.
I don't
It's
care.
in survival mode. You're trying just to survive that moment and that day.
Like, here's the thing. I've grown up enough to when I don't really, and like, I've almost become numb to the fact that people look at me differently. Because, like, it's been happening for such a long time. Like it's just become normal. That people look at me, who the hell is this guy? He's office rocker. That's a normal thing.
I mean, there's normal anxiety, that stuff we've been taught, stuff that's been poked fun of at us and all that. That's normal anxiety. But there's
then
also
how do you break it?
no. But there's also the anxiety that's just passed down generational, and that's just our flight or fight reflex.
All right,
is
so
just
you have
kicking in
that.
terribly.
But you have that has been handed out. That's the elephant chain. And then you have the ones that you create.
Yeah.
So when you mix those two together, you
Yeah,
got
then
some
then
medicine.
the
There's
thing
also-
doubles up as he's talking about, but
There's also ones that society creates. There's things that aren't really a big deal, but when you have people telling you consistently, oh, you're so sensitive about that. Why are you so sensitive about it? Why is your generation so sensitive about this? Why are you guys so always being affected by this? It didn't affect a lot of people
until
until
they
your
started saying
entire
that.
life you're getting
So how do we
reprimanded for
stop?
something like that.
How do we stop that noise? What is it? The words, the magic.
Go to therapy. Please, God, go to therapy. If you think
All
you're
right, but
wrong
let's
with this,
assume
go
you,
to therapy.
you don't go to therapy for a lot of reasons. Number one,
saying,
No,
it's
you're
so
afraid. Number
helpful.
two,
therapy's not just talking with someone. Therapy could be many different things. There's
Okay, give
art,
me an
there's
example.
art therapy. There's music therapy.
Sure.
There's I don't know, light therapy.
should I
think.
create a
There's
rubber room with a
therapy-
bat?
People have for kids with high anxiety or depression levels, you can go to a lot of ranches and they do horse riding,
yeah,
and that's
I
really
heard about that.
therapeutic.
Oh, we
Animal
talked to
therapy,
those people with the horses.
emotional support animals, as long as you use them correctly and
We
not
have-
pretending that
At-
they're service animals.
We have a connection for that with the horses.
At,
They have a
at,
call
Yeah.
out,
at Lynn University, they used to bring on puppies and dogs, and you can literally just sit and play with them. That's all.
I have a connection for that
Have
too.
you ever thought about becoming a therapist, a creative arts therapist?
There's
I'm not good at helping other people out
How do you know that?
because I get too weirded out.
Look at his face.
You are good at it.
You are really good at
You're
it.
just better at weirding out.
Okay.
But you're young.
There's a place up the, I forget what it is,
Street?
Power line or something. Not up the street, just like way up there, right? That it's just called Puppies, and you can play with the puppies
You know where that
for
is?
free. Yeah, it's next to a Publix.
Well, that's very
You mean
descriptive.
the animal store?
No, not that one.
It's
Not that
straight
one.
puppies, bro.
And you go there to play with puppies for anxiety and stuff?
Well, the last time I tried to do it, it didn't really work that well.
Why?
Just because I was just bad. It was just bad.
It didn't work for you?
Do you think most of your friends have some sort of anxiety?
Everyone, I feel like everyone has at least a little bit.
Everyone has that one trigger.
Yeah.
One.
Everyone
I
has
got like
something. It's, you know, like
I got many.
I can't say anything.
You can.
It's
Yeah, you want to say it?
like it's just like every time I bring it up, people are like, "Oh, that's weird," but like, except for like very, I think the first time I had anxiety was this job. I've never really had anxiety until like it clicked. Like, oh, if I mess up, then it looks bad on everyone. So that's why I click a lot of buttons. That's like my only symptom when it comes to that. I never really had to deal with
Judgment?
no, well,
Pressure.
no.
Criticism?
No, I dealt with pressure and judgment, but I never really felt it because I just did it anyways. That's why when I like bring this up and people like scoff or like, oh, that's not true, but it is. Like I just do my thing and it works out somehow.
Some people they have the brains to do that.
Okay, but let me ask you a
Anxiety
question.
isn't every single person. You can be anxious without having anxiety too. Like anxiety is it's an imbalance in the way you think, but people can be anxious and not have
But
anxiety.
hold on.
He's
It's-
out here pacing right now.
He's out there pacing because he thinks we're going to talk about him. See, the bottom line here is that words like imbalance and judgment words of hitting the buttons, that's not what it is. You see, the problem is that you're taking all of this negative
I
stuff
think
that
imbalance
people have.
actually is the
But hold
word.
on. You're taking all of these definitions that you've heard all your life. And if a person says, the reason I want you to slow down the button pushing is because the production is smoother for the host, for you, and for everybody watching. Has nothing to do with imbalance. What happens is you begin to attach negative to words of encouragement. You see, nobody in here has talked about how we talk about the good you do.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
The good you do. No, I get it. But do you know, I've known you longer than everybody in this room. I think you're one of the greatest at what you do.
I agree with what you're saying, but like there is like you can look at brain scans of people. Like it is a physical thing that happens in your brain for bipolarism, depression, anxiety. You can look at someone's brain scans and be like, oh, this person had depression because you can see their levels are different.
I get it. I understand
It's not
that.
like a
I understand that,
subjective
but
term.
that unless you have a birth defect when you're born, these are all learned behaviors.
Yes.
Well, they're
Everything that you go
environmental,
through
yes,
is a
absolutely.
learned behavior. You know, I was lucky that my parents grew up in a home, but I know a lot of people who had parents that got divorced. If you look at my kids' brains, they probably have all sorts of flaky stuff going on in there as well. But what I'm trying to ask you is all of the encouragement that you give one another seems to be lost in the wayside because you're living the past of negative people talking to you, putting you down, telling you don't do this, don't do that. But if you look at the positives you create, will the positives overcome these negatives? That's the problem I'm having. How do we fill the glass with positive? How do you accept positive if you don't?
Okay, so I don't know if this is just applicable to like anxiousness, anxiety, or whatever. But
Okay.
when you compliment somebody over and over again, it doesn't really work on that person because they either they do such a good job and they get so many compliments that they just develop like sort of imposter syndrome. Yeah,
You're a
imposter
liar.
syndrome. So like let's say I do a good job, but I'm so used to doing that, and then they're like, oh wow, this is so good. I'm like, oh cool, thanks, but it's just so normal to me, so I don't accept the good, and then vice versa. When you do a bad job, you feel all of it. So it is the negative. It's weird. It's like
You're taking in the negative over the
People
positive?
believe negative
Oh.
over positive.
You just made me think of a quote. I just read a quote from a therapist that was, if you're giving 100% all of the time, like if you see an airplane and their engines give 100%, 100% of the time, the airplanes are going to explode. It's okay to not give your 100%. 100% of the time because you're going to burn out. And if 100% is your normal, anything that's 99% or lower is going to break you mentally because you're not used to that. Whereas if you can give moderate, and then when you need to push, and we need to pull back, it keeps you more balanced, and you're able to get the serotonin of, oh, I did a good job, someone complimented me, rather than it being your norm.
Well, I saw something today. I know we have to wrap this up, but we should definitely do a round table. What was your
Katie.
show or Katie's show on this?
Stress, decompress.
And do this. They say a hug for 20 seconds increases serotonin, and a kiss for 6 seconds increases serotonin.
It's a really good hug.
So if you're going to hug or
She's
kiss,
a really good hugger.
Yes, I
20
am.
seconds.
Zaria is a really good hugger.
Really?
Such a
gives
good
good
hug.
When we went to the
I've been
carnival,
told that
it
all
was-
my life, bro.
Really?
My teachers, my friend, I got it.
No, when we
Oh.
went to the carnival, it was really cold outside, and so she was trying to warm me up, and I was like, oh my god.
You know, Jalen Hurst, your quarterback, your favorite quarterback, said it best. You either win or you learn from a loss.
Period.
And I think that that is the most powerful psychological statement a man who just lost the Super Bowl and left it all on the field can say. So my question to you guys is that the scenario you're painting to me is that if you tell somebody positive, then it becomes an imposter?
Imposter syndrome?
Syndrome?
not always, but it depends on the person that's receiving it.
But the stack is against me about saying or doing something positive. How do you fix a problem?
Sometimes you can't fix it. Sometimes it's up to the person. You can't be fixed. You have to want to fix yourself.
But that I understand that, but I'm assuming that everybody wants to feel better.
But some people, there is
Don't?
There's a difference between, yeah, I want to feel better, but some people do. They don't know how to feel better, and this is something that if you therapists talk about a lot. You want to feel better, but also you're so comfortable in how you're feeling and what you're doing, and you know what's going on, even if it's uncomfortable, because you don't know how to get out of it, and it's going to be even more uncomfortable to get out of it. You want to get better, but are you willing to really put in the work to get better? And you have to reach deep down and say, I want to do this. This is going to be the hardest thing I ever have to do to get better. But no one else can force you to do it. No one else can do it for you.
In terms of supporting people, I think you should keep doing what you're doing. Like when you see good work, compliment them, even if they don't receive it. It's good so that one day when they do accept that they have that behind them, they'll remember, oh, like I can actually take what they said and internalize it rather than push it away. Pretends like stoicism or something. It's something that people do need, even if they don't really receive it at the moment. It's still good to have and to hear.
You got something?
Mm.
You know, I know.
Disagree.
No. I was gonna go along with it, but I didn't want to.
I know so many therapists, including my sister, in my life. And I'm going to tell you a secret. Every therapist that I know has a therapist.
Yeah.
Okay? Every therapist that I have questions some of the therapy that they do, that they give. But I got to tell you a compliment to the building. My sister walked in here, and right away she pulled me to the side, and she says, I know what you're doing. Now, I'm going to leave that there, and you figure that out. Because there's a method to everybody's madness, including yours, and yours, and yours, and yours, and yours. There's a method. So wanting to get better is a method. Having the desire and the courage to do it is the challenge. So what I'm saying to you guys is, jump in. Try that, because if you stay without trying, then you're going to be bound never to feel what it feels like.
Wait till you see we're starting on that midday show. You don't even know.
I don't know.
So more
We
to
didn't
come
even
on
get
that.
to do this.
We didn't even get to do that.
We'll
so
do
more
this
to
at the
come on the
midday
midday
show.
show.
Yes.
But it's nice to know that everyone's just, at least you know everyone's on the same page in this place. Everyone feels exactly the same way.
And you know something? There's nothing wrong with feeling it. I
Including
love
me.
learning. I don't know where Braxton went, because I wasn't going to point him out. I think that Braxton happens to be a superstar. You know, and I encourage him to try. Just keep doing what you're doing.
And the thing you said about giving 100%, I think I give 100% or maybe 110%. By Sunday, I crashed this weekend. I did. I told you. I slept, I ate, I went back to sleep. I ate, I went back to sleep. I sat on the couch, I went back to sleep. Because I had nothing left to give. You got to regroup
for me,
at some point.
For me, it ain't about giving, it's about learning. Just like Hurst says. You either win or you learn. And I'm in the learn mode. And I want to learn. I want to learn more. I was on her show because I want to learn about how you feel, and I want to understand how the time on a watch works.
Katie, when's your show? Tomorrow? Tune in.
told you.
Maybe you should do a special edition
I
today since
told
we
you.
have everyone.
I tell you, that was a big one.
All right, more to come. Have a great morning, everyone. Happy Valentine's Day. We'll see you in midday show.
Don't be late. Thank you for listening to the Brooklyn Cafe Morning Show. My mug is empty, and you know what that means.
I think it means it's time for a coffee refill.
As we prepare for other shows here at the Amp Media Production Studios.
Tune in for more fun and laughs at 12 o'clock for our afternoon show.
And remember to like, follow, and subscribe on our page.
Have a great morning, everyone. Stay safe and be kind to each other.
And don't be late.